Hello, this is Lekan. I'm very excited to be with you. In this video, I would share with you 3 tips that would help you to actualize your goals in 2018. Now, before we go into that, let me ask, did you have the opportunity to see my video for last week where I shared 5 ways to set goals? If not, I encourage you to do that now because that video generated thousands of views and the feedback has been great. So thank you very much for all of you guys that shared that videos to many people around the world. Thank you very much. Now, the first tip I'm going to share in this video is decision. Last week was my birthday and a couple of my friends came to visit. They brought me wines and cake and we had a lot of fun. Now, I don't drink, but on that day, I drank alcohol. And after my friends left, I began to reflect. I said, what happened? Why did you drink it? I felt bad about that decision that I made. And I realized that the reason I made that decision wasn't because I wasn't disciplined, but I made that decision because I wanted to feel comfortable among my friends. I wanted to feel comfortable among my friends. So I conformed to what my friends wanted me to do. Why is that important to you? Because as you begin to walk towards your goals, you will be required to make very important decisions. Decisions made for you by the societal standards, or decisions that you would have to make for you, not what the society expects you to do. Now, one of the things I wrote about in my new book, which should be published probably next week, was that conformity, I believe, destroys progress. When you conform to what society wants you to do, it's very difficult for you to move towards what you want for yourself because you are always following what others want you to do. So when you think about decision making, I want you to be intentional. I want you to think about how that decision would help you towards your goal, how that decision would help you to actualize what you want for yourself. Now, at first, this might be very difficult, but as you become more conscious of the decisions you're making, you can immediately evaluate your decision. As you're making them, you can immediately evaluate them and ask yourself, will this decision help me towards the goals that I wanted for myself? Or will this decision draw me back from the goals that I wanted for myself? Because it's very important. Whether you like it or not, you will be forced to make important decisions. The next tip is competence and confidence. Competence and confidence. Now, for some of you, you know that what I do, my company, Lekan Leadership International, the only thing we do is we focus on human capital development. That is personal development. Now, if you ask me, you call me any freaking time and say, Lekan, tell me something about personal development. I'm going to tell you because that is my area of competency. I am very confident about that area of specialization. What about you? What is your area of specialization? I want you to develop competency and confidence in that area that you may have chosen for yourself, because that is the fastest way to achieving the greatest desire that you want in your life. And the good thing about competency and confidence is you cannot separate them. When you begin to develop competency in an area that you have chosen for yourself, simultaneously, your confidence level begins to grow. And as your confidence level begins to grow, what happens? Your competency begins to get even stronger. So they are like a loop. You cannot separate it. From your competence level increases your confidence level, then your confidence level increases your competence level. So I want you to find something that you're very, very passionate about and ask yourself, how can I develop competency and confidence in this area that I have chosen for myself. And you know the easiest way to do that? Recently, I was looking at my files of audiobooks, and I found an audio by L. Nightingale. And he said something about developing competency. And he said, if you find 5 best books written in a particular area, in a particular specialization, and master, you hear me? Master every skills, the knowledge shared in those books, you will develop competency and confidence, because you will become an expert in that area. Find 5 books. Now you can find more than that, but at least find 5 books, good books, written in a particular area that you have decided to put your attention into, and master every knowledge and skills shared in those books. Now, the last thing I want you to do to make sure your goals for 2018 is achieved is what? Implementation. Implementation is very vital to your success. It doesn't matter what you've read. It doesn't matter the schools you've went to. It doesn't matter the accumulation of your knowledge. If you fail to implement what you've learned, there's no progress. I am a firm believer in learn and apply. Learn, apply. Learn, apply. Knowledge is not valuable if you never applied what you've read. I remember those days when I first started reading personal development books. I would spend hours reading. I read a lot of books, but guess what? I never implemented what I learned, and I wasn't progressing. Now, if you ask me, Lekan, how many books have you read? I would tell you hundreds of books, or 50, or 60. But nothing changed until I began to implement what I've read, until I began to implement those skills, until I began to implement those tips. Then I began to see result. I began to see changes in my life. So no matter the amount of skills, the amount of knowledge, the amount of experiences that you have acquired, if you fail to implement what you've learned, then you cannot achieve your goals. So I really want you to think about these 3 tips. Decision making, very important. Be intentional. Before you make a decision, ask yourself, will this help me towards my goals? Or will this draw me back from my goals? Might be difficult at first, but as you do this on a conscious level, it becomes easier each time. To the extent that when you make a decision, simultaneously you are evaluating that decision at the same time. The second thing, develop competency and confidence in a particular area of interest. It has to be something you are very passionate about. Third, implement every single idea that you learn. Everything that you learn, implement. If you fail to implement them, they're useless. Every single thing that you learn, implement until you get the result you want. Now, I hope what I've shared with you this week would help you to make sure that 2018 is the best year ever, because I know it can be the best year ever. I know that you can achieve what you want this year. I have no doubt. But in order to do that, you have to do something different. You have to change something about you. You have to follow the plans. You have to set goals. So, make sure you use all that I have shared with you in this video. And remember to live full, love across all differences, learn all you can, and leave a legacy. And lastly, if you love this video, share this with someone.